I just want to say this because this really been on my mind lately. I have nothing against the plain Jane females, and what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often, the plain Jane females. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have nothing against y'all, but why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seems like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females.
Okay, there's so much to unpack in this video. I don't even know where to start first. Before I go into anything that she talked about in the video, the first thing I noticed is that she's wearing a lot of makeup. She's rocking a $400 or $500 lace front, and she has on these batwing eyelashes that most men despise. Like, I literally had to watch this video multiple times because I kept getting distracted by her eyelashes. She starts the video off with this conciliatory "I come in peace" tone and extends the olive branch to the plain Janes, letting them know that she doesn't have anything against them. So now I'm intrigued because I'm curious to know where she's going with this. She complains that pretty girls like her have such a difficult time finding a good man while plain Janes don't. Now, I'm thinking to myself, what in the Posse Blanc am I watching? Is she literally trying to plaster herself off as a pretty girl while throwing shade at plain Janes? Now, no disrespect intended. I'm not trying to say that she's unattractive, but clearly she's creating this dichotomy of pretty girls versus plain Jane, where she's placing herself squarely in the camp of the pretty girls, when in all honesty, she falls more on the plain Jane side of the spectrum, if we're being totally honest. We saw this a lot with the women who called in the Kevin Samuels show. There were some women who were really 4s and 5s, but they saw themselves as 9 and 10s, and they would get irate, upset, and even offended if you didn't see them the same way they saw themselves. Now these women, they suffered from a lack of self-awareness, and I think that's what we're seeing here in this video, where this young lady is suffering from a lack of self-awareness. The way she describes herself as a pretty girl while dissing plain Janes, it gave me flashbacks of that old Dave Chappelle Clayton Bigsby skit. Clayton Bigsby was a black man who was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, but he didn't know he was black because he was blind since birth, right? That type of lack of self-awareness. I think that's what we're seeing here. Now, whether or not you think she is pretty or not, that's entirely up for debate. But what should be clear is that she definitely struggles from a pretty girl attitude. The second thing I noticed was a strong sense of entitlement. Some of these women with these pretty girl mentalities think too much of themselves. You can hear it when she talks about how the plain Janes was stealing all of the good men. She feels that just because she's pretty, she's entitled to a good man. Now, this sense of entitlement is unbelievable, but it's not uncommon. A lot of these women with the pretty girl mentality feel like guys should be falling all over themselves to be with them. They expect these men to be attractive, to be protectors, and to be providers. But they feel all they need to do is just show up and be pretty. The third thing I noticed was a huge ego. She's low-key trying to diss women who don't wear makeup and get their hair done like that. She's all but saying that these type of women are not that attractive and don't deserve to have a man as much as women who spend a lot of time and money trying to attract a man. Quite frankly, a lot of men don't want to deal with women with pretty girl mentality. These women are too self-absorbed, they're starved for attention, constantly seeking validation, constantly taking pictures, posting them on Instagram, and quite frankly, they think that they're the prize and that men should be grateful for being with them. The fourth thing I noticed is that everything she mentioned as a negative, most men would see as a positive. She describes plain Jane females as women who don't go out, women who don't get their face and hair done often. To men, that sounds like a damn good woman. When she says a woman who doesn't go out often, what a man hears is this woman is a homebody. She's not going to be out at the club twerking and shaking her ass trying to get attention. When she says a woman who doesn't get her face made up and her hair done often, what a man hears is a woman who is natural, who is confident, comfortable in her own skin, and a woman who's low maintenance. Yes, don't get me wrong. Men want women to take pride in their appearance, but a man will marry a modest woman who has his back over a supermodel who treats him like shit any day. A woman that has that pretty girl mentality is bound to behave like a diva. Women with pretty girl mentalities wake up every morning like,
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
Men are just not trying to deal with that. We want to live drama free. We don't want the drama. Single women often criticize and blame men for why they can't find a good man. What you have to understand is that a man is not going to stay with you simply because you look good. Remember, your physical beauty is what gets our attention, but it's your inner beauty that'll make us stay. After all, your inner beauty lasts much longer than your physical beauty. Number 2, entitlement. There's a saying that goes, even exchange is not robbery. And what this saying is about reciprocity. Remember that men like women who like us back. Men show an interest in women who show an interest in us. No one is entitled to special treatment. You shouldn't treat a man as though he's just one of many options. You can't expect a man to make you a priority in his life if he's only an option in yours. Women who want to be in relationships should focus on not being self-centered. Try to put yourself in his shoes and see where he's coming from. Number 3, ego. Women with that pretty girl mentality think too much of themselves and therefore are far less approachable. Some of y'all with the pretty girl mentality want men to walk barefooted on hot coals just to get with you. And for a lot of guys, it's just not worth it. Men don't want to go through all that BS to get with you. Women who want to be in relationships should act like they want to be in relationships and should try to be a bit more approachable. There's nothing wrong with smiling every now and then. Some men feel plain Janes make better girlfriends and better wives because they're modest, they're down to earth. They care more about pleasing their man than they do about impressing other people. A lot of plain Janes make their man a priority and not just an option. Women who want to be in relationships should listen to men, find out what men want, rather than assuming what men want and getting upset because they're not getting the results that they were hoping for. Hey, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm AK, and this is my react.